They played Elevate in that very first round, and to be honest, Elevate gave Froyo a decent run at their money. I mean, they were at least getting some rounds off them. I think the first map was 5-3. I can't exactly remember what the second one was, but I think it goes to show that, I mean, certainly Froyotech can be beaten here at these lands. Not that they have been beaten, but teams are getting rounds off of them. And, you know, I would expect nothing less here out of Street Hoops, who is another one of the squads just like Froyotech, that they have had a team that's been together for quite a while, and they do have that cohesion and the chemistry between their players. So we'll see how it works out here. But a quick, very quick, fast roll out there coming from Blaze. He went straight into IT, and he will start to wrap around. So Street Hoops needs to be careful of such players being behind him. And Blaze is getting his jump all set up here. He is coming from behind now. Sizer is ready for him. He blasts him with some meat shots, but he did manage to take down Ninja Nick, which is huge. Took down Ash as well with a rocket, so Blaze doing some work there on Roamer as he was able to get a few crucial picks for them there, and that will be the rest of 20B that gets wiped out there. 4G having a great first mid. Shade kept himself alive, and really much of that was accredited there toward Blaze, I think. He had a great roamer play.
Yeah, they were all grouped up playing passively, and Blaze just came in behind him. He obviously went for Ninja Nick first, and he ended up getting a whole ton of players with his damage going at Nick, so it turned out great for him. 20B didn't realize that there was a soldier coming around behind him, or they just didn't care, because they didn't do anything about it, really, and now we're stuck with a NG and sniper, Sizer sniper, Paragon NG, to try and hold this down against the onslaught, which is coming in now. Got an Ubered scout soldier, but the sentry gun was kind of doing some work there. Clockwork gonna go down, and that may be the end of whatever 4G was trying to do here.
Yeah, Street Hoops did a good job of rotating around and kiting that Uber, which you can do so well on this last tier, on process. You can really get around and try and avoid the Ubers here, and Grape very hurt here. Ninja Nick pops that Uber off just in time to save him, so they're going to try and fly in through choke here. Duana is quite hurt. Nobody able to get in, though, and convert on any of these frags, so we're going to leapfrog here. And oh no, there's a back cap coming through, and nobody was back there. Banny and Blaze both got behind them after 20B decided to push out from last, and that is a big, big back cap to start things off here.
Yeah, they made the pivotal mistake of burning their Uber to get out on second and not getting a ton of kills with it. So you're in a situation where your team is pushed really far up, and they can get behind you.
Looking into this mid here, Blaze had yet again another very fast rollout, took the 20B health pack. Is Blaze coming and flying through once again, getting another frag onto Ninja Nick. Second mid in a row. 4G wiping them out here. Ash will go down, and it's only Sizer left who wants to make the miracle play, but Clockwork says no, and Froyotech's mids are just looking dynamite, and they need to do something to get Blaze under control here.
Yeah, Blaze is really killing them at the start of the mids. They need a scout to be assigned to stop him from getting on the medic. Usually that roamer will come in really early and try to take out your demo or something, but he's delaying slightly and going after their med, and it's just wiping them out. And then they're not able to get at Shade, which is like your go-to option if they want to take out your med. But the Uber gonna drive on through. Baby gun and a headshot gonna come out onto Banny. So the baby gun dies, but so does Banny. And that may be enough, quite enough for 4G. They just say, you know what? We're gonna wait.
Yeah, and once again, another great last hold there from Street Hoops. Paragon is in right now onto second. Lansky's going to try and take care of him. Got a couple good rockets off, but Ash is going to come to his aid there. Just missed the air shot, but Blaze will go down here. Sizer's been taken out by Duat as well, so they are on to the second point here. 20B is they will pick up the cap this time, not giving up a back cap, and it looks like a couple guys heading through IT here. Clockwork was in towards that way, but Ash and Paragon have both come to the aid there and try and keep IT under lockdown here. But 20B is just going to move straight into mid here. They popped off their Uber, but they're not going to really be able to do much of anything with this. I mean, they might be able to get the mid cap here in time, but Shade is just about to be up on this Uber here, as we've seen a lot of ping-ponging and leapfrogging back and forth here with the Uber so far in this game, but Ash is going to make a big bomb in through choke. Great surf from Shade to keep himself alive. He didn't have to use that Uber, and they will continue to push on forward here. There's lots of spam coming across, but Shade still has decided not to use that Uber, but Blaze and Lansky both going down here. Froyotech with only 3 players left alive, and that is going to give some room here for Street Hoops to push back in. There's a lot of spam coming in through choke, but Shade still has his Uber, but he's not really playing in with his teammates at all. Banny was able to get Grape, and Duatna quite hurt at the moment as well, but they will take the heals up now and still haven't used that Uber, and Ninja Nick is just about to be up on his as well. Shade is going to get forced, actually, thanks to Paragon. So now it's going to be Ninja Nick milking this Uber, came close to dropping it, got very low on health. Banny gets taken down at the tail end of that fight. Shade is trying to make it out here. Sizer's getting sent forward, but he's going to have a round of fisticuffs here with Clockwork inside of Sewers, so now it's finally maybe slowing down a little bit, but Blaze says no to that as well. Another big bomb in through choke, took down Paragon. Sizer fell to Clockwork inside of Sewer, and he's going to get some room back out here. He did take an arrow, though, and now Deadbolt's going to try and get something onto him, and Clockwork's pretty much trapped inside here by the sticks right now, and Deadbolt's going to go down, so the push from 20B here not exactly going as planned. Ninja Nick also fell in the middle of that fight, so here comes Froyotech pushing straight on into second point.
Yeah, there's not a lot 20B can do about this either. It sounds like we've got a sniper out in Paragon, and we do, and, Grape plays a little peekaboo at the door. Not going to get the frags, but that, there's Lansky going down to Paragon, so that may hold them up quite a bit, because Lansky is the pocket, and some people believe that pockets are somewhat important to pushing last, but we'll see what 4G chooses to do. Looks like Shade's working up into lobby. They're thinking about it. Clockwork is already in. The Uber comes out, so we've got a level 2 gun over on the right side. Looks like it's going to go down. Sizer can't keep it alive. And 4G is sort of grouping up over here on the left. Blaze is going to be the first to go down. And then Ash is going to leave right away, and both teams back out again, more or less. Clockwork going to get found out as well, and now 20B making themselves known out here on the second point.
They have the full Uber as well. They would love to not have to use it right here in this situation, so they are going to get this second point here. They still have 50% advantage if they want to get on through into Froyotech right now. I mean, they are surely fully aware of the disadvantage that they're at, but the Uber does get popped off here. Grape getting sent across, as well as Ash, who got in onto Duatna, took him down. Banny falls as well, but Clockwork still alive here, trying to wreak some havoc. Blaze coming back in onto Ninja Nick. Good rocket off, and he did manage to take him down at the last second, so a great med pick coming through from Blaze. Once again, Shade is taking quite a few rockets from Ash here in choke, but only 2 players left up for Froyotech right now. They do have a full Uber as well, though, so Street Hoops managed to get that midpoint, but they are going to have to back off of it here soon. They're still down Ninja Nick and Sizer as Froyo pushes straight back into the mid here. They're going to bully him out. Really can't do too much on the end of Street Hoops, so midpoint is going to go right back over to Froyotech.
Yeah, really impressive pincer move from Froyotech to trap Nick in that mid between Blaze and the rest of his team. We do have the Sizer sniper out now, sniping into IT. There's a lot of people running around down there, so he has a few choices, but he gets beat up pretty badly, down to 12 health. So, not going to be the greatest there, but Banny's going to go down. The Uber's going to come out from Lansky. It's going to jump over to the right side. Ash, very hurt. 2 health. Deadbolt Grape also quite hurt. But that's going to be the second point for 4G. However, Uber for 20B.
Yeah, they're getting ready to come out with it. They're at 85%. Ready to go here. Blaze is pretty hurt as well, so they have some health advantage here, I would say, moving into this, as well as the Uber advantage, and Blaze actually going down, so even a bit of player advantage as well as they decide to get back out onto the second point. Have not yet used any sort of that Uber yet. Shade is only sitting at 40% on his as well. Clockwork has gone down. Blaze is still out of the equation as well, so they're going to send Grape on forward here, trying to take down Duatna. Got a lot of good shots off onto him, finally finishing him off with a rocket there, but Banny was able to exchange and take down Grape. But demo for Pocket there, not too bad as they decide to push on forward here. 20B, as they haven't yet used it. Ash getting set up into the sky, couldn't quite land the air shot. Was Blaze, but couldn't quite hit it. But nonetheless, Ninja Nick still has some Uber here to move forward with. They have all of their numbers up as well. Froyotech trying to just kite it on back, and they should have a full Uber here very shortly. So finally, for probably one of the first that we've seen of this match, is going to be an Uber v Uber fight.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll probably see Ash get thrown in here to see what he can do. Really good play from 20B there to get that mid without getting forced. They got Blaze out of the equation early, so that definitely helps your cause when one of the all-time best roamers is not in the equation. So we'll see what they decide to do. Grape is playing around in sewer, and so is his medic. They're actually going to get jumped pretty strongly, and not too much more comes of it. Deadbolt throwing stuff around to choke, and nobody really poking around in IT, so they're being very deliberate about this.
We're seeing the great stalemate here so far, and pretty much all of Street Hoops is inside of sewer for the time being. Looks like Sizer's getting a little aggressive towards choke here. They see their sticks kind of scattered all over the sewer area as well as choke, so 20B needs to get some sort of an opening for themselves. They had an opportunity there with Clockwork, who got very hurt outside of sewer, but just didn't quite go down. But Ash had fallen in the middle of that fight as well, so it looks like Froyotech may decide to come on in here. They do have 20B, who's got some high ground on the other side of this choke. Blaze is in once again to try and get something on the Ninja Nick, and he barely kept himself alive. Actually had some good surfs on the rockets there, Ninja Nick did. So get his health back up, and needs to be careful of the pipes coming through choke. There's lots of spam. He may need to use this one. No, Froyotech did back up enough, so he is safe for the time being, but Soldier jumping back out. Ninja Nick does need to be very careful here. The Uber's going to get popped off, and Ninja Nick will return the favor as well to keep Grape alive. So now Street Hoops is going to pick up the second point, but they're down a couple of players, one of which is Deadbolt and Sizer, two of the main fraggers for Street Hoops, and it looks like Grape could go down momentarily as well. Ninja Nick getting taken out by Shade once again, who is taken down Ninja Nick. I mean, already it had to be at least 4 or 5 times in this game, and Street Hoops is just getting completely wiped out here on this second point. It's just Deadbolt left in here, who's going to go down to Clockwork as he picks up a 2K, but a good hold from Froyotech, good push back out, and they're going to pick up this midpoint.
Yeah, that flank for 4G has caused a lot of medic agony over the years, and it continues to do so to this day. Blaze, actually, something really impressive I thought I should mention is he bombed into mid, hit Ninja Nick, and got out with the whole team watching, and then came back and did it again. So wow. That just kind of shows you what you're dealing with. If you do play sixes, normally you probably don't see that sort of behavior. So we are going to see an Uber come out from 4G shortly. It looks like they're taking the hardest possible route through the 5-door. They're going up top. Good rotation from 20B. Grape has got to try and fight it out for himself, but they have a level 3 gun. A fully grown 7th player is on the field. Ash is going to get killed trying to equalize her away. The gun is having trouble with the people on top of it, but Lansky going to get devastated by Grape up there. Ninja Nick going to die to Blaze anyways, though. 3v2, Shade is in the equation, and Duwatna going to protect himself from Paragon. He says, what, Demo Man Nerf? Oh, and he's going to get Sizer too! What, Demo Man Nerf indeed.
Oh, that's great stuff from Duwatna. That was very, very good stuff. And that, once again, 20B just, I mean, they've gotten themselves in this situation numerous times now where they're at a heavy disadvantage as they're holding their last on Uber. And, I mean, they've managed to kite all of them out here so far. I mean, other than the one round that they gave up, but you know, I don't know how long you can rely on that to keep working. At some point, you really need to get out of this situation of just being stuck at last here. I mean, they get forward a little bit and then eventually just end up right back here. So Froyotech has that full Uber, and they're going to go ahead and pop it off onto Banny here as they send him forward. Most of 20B is inside of the spawn right now. The sticks are still around the point, and Banny's capping right off to the side. Lots of players on the point. They didn't contest it. Street Hoops didn't, and that will be 2-0 here for Froyotech on this first half.
Yeah, that's one of the things about Process Last you have to be real careful about is the 2 and 3 door are so close to the last cap that they can kind of just run a circle, like straight out onto it as soon as they come out there, and if you're not paying attention, you lose the round.
And Blaze once again nailing that fast rollout every single time coming in here, takes that health back, and he's going to come across, try and go for that one rocket into Ninja Nick, and running away again. And a lot of players from Street Hoops are hurt right now. 3 of them are below 40 health, and they're going to have to start considering backing up at least. Although they have a couple of frags on them, they really have no health to contest this midpoint. They still have 2 players below 40 health, so now they have backed themselves up. And they did keep Ninja alive this time, which is good. They actually have some slight add on them right now. They're going to be at about 100% Uber here right now. Of course, they don't necessarily know that, so both teams have it on full, ready to go here. Froyotech going to be pushing into the second point here in just a moment.
Yeah, we're going to get to see a good old-fashioned workaround here and see what 4G wants to do. They got Blaze peeking around. I imagine whatever happens will probably be executed by Blaze. He's peeking around in IT. Doesn't really see that much yet. He's going to go in aggressively towards Ash. He's going to beat him up pretty bad. But then Paragon comes in underneath him and he says, nah, I don't like that fight too much, and he backs out. They're actually trying to bait people into a giant sticky trap in IT as well.
So here we go. Froyotech still waiting to get this push on through here. Clockwork's up on Sniper, so really anything is going to be based off of this pick that he can get right now. Not managing to find anything, though, but... Oh, he's going to take a lot of spam coming through here. Managed to stay alive somehow. He was getting very aggressive, but 20B just couldn't quite convert on the frag there. But as we were kind of talking about Blaze a little bit, I mean, he's only sitting at 25 points, which compared to the rest of the team, it's at second to last. But the impact that he has had on this game so far has been huge. I mean, he's gotten, I think, around 5 med picks now. And we're still only 2 rounds in. I mean, we're in our 3rd round here on this first half, and he's really made his presence felt here. I mean, he jumps around, acts as such a good distraction. It's 6 med picks, actually, I'm being told. So Blaze definitely has had a big impact here so far, but for the time being, Froyotech still searching for a lane here. Clockwork gets spotted out towards Sewer, but managed to keep himself alive. Luckily, Shade playing in with his sniper there to give him heals, so they've had to back off. So some good old-fashioned stalemate TF2 here that we know and love.
Yeah, they got Clockwork trying to work the shutter door as a surprise headshot, and but so far no go. Grape actually trying to get up really close. He's got him. Yeah, there you go. So bounce the sniper up off the ground, and he is dead meat. Now we got Paragon actually chasing through, and it looks like they're looking to go. We had a 20B scout actually out at mid running around, but he pulled back.
Some sticks kind of in the way here in through choke that 20B has to deal with, so they didn't really capitalize on the man advantage that they had. They're still sitting on the second point right now. They're giving heals to Sizer, but not really deciding to make a move here. No off-classing for either team as well, so they really just need to get a pick of some sort at this point. Duana taking a lot of sticks from Deadbolt coming in through choke, but did keep himself alive, managed to get out just in time, so he didn't fall there, but we're right back to square one where we were at just a minute ago. Blaze tried getting in once again with a big bomb, but finally this time the scouts were ready. I think they're starting to catch on to it a little bit maybe here, Marxist.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly common jump. At one time, nobody really knew you could do that surf jump there off of a mid, but Ash is going to go down in a reply here. His broken body lies in IT, and now there's a big Lansky jump. He finds Deadbolt. Oh, and he pipes out Lansky, who is off the ground. So that's not probably how that was planned, but Shade still has Uber, so it's perfectly okay to drop Lansky there because they are going to get second. 20B can't stay out here anymore.
Sizer did a great job of delaying for Ninja so he could keep himself alive. I mean, now Froyotech definitely picking up on this point. Shade didn't have to use that Uber at all, so he's going to have a nice hefty 100%. He actually gets forced outside here. Ash comes flying in. He'll fly away and get pistoled down by Banny, but at least they got the force out. That's something that 20B definitely needed here. Clockwork's still trying to contend the point, and Banny's inside of the lobby right now. He's having a battle with Deadbolt inside of there. Neither of them really getting the better of each other here. Getting a lot of shots off, but eventually getting taken down by Paragon. So each team down 2 players right now. Lansky and Shade are caught inside a choke right now. Blaze is in once again, but this time Paragon was able to take care of him. So now Blaze not getting at least quite so many opportunities coming in towards Street Hoops, but now they are just going to continue to push themselves forward into mid here. They do have a 50% Uber advantage, and of course Froyo is aware of this, and they're taking quite a bit of damage up here, though. Duana kind of getting stuck out. He's very, very hurt right now. If somebody could just finish off the kill, but he now has gotten a health pack, and the Uber has been popped off here, and 20B really not in any position to take that forward. They didn't have the ammo, they didn't have the health, and oh goodness, Deadbolt getting launched into the sky. And turning bad to worse here is the situation for Street Hoops, is now they're going to be back at their second. Shade coming in with a full Uber here. Grape wants to try and force this, but just can't. And that'll be a free take coming in here for Froyotech, and they're going to have a big 100% Uber. Actually, no, excuse me, they've been forced out on second once again, right inside of Shutter, so at least they are getting these early forces Street Hoops is.
Yeah, that was pretty big there, because their 20B is still 3 down. They just now got Grape back, so getting that force and rattling 4G enough to keep them out was pretty big, because now you've got a slight Uber advantage. I doubt they'll be able to actually use it, but at least you can have a 6v6 hold with, like, off classes if you want them, and all kinds of other cool stuff, right?
Exactly. That's part of the fun of the game there, but it looks like they want to do something with this kind of Street Hoops. They're getting ready for it. Blaze was in once again, somehow managed to find a lane on in towards lobby, but he gets taken down by Paragon. So now Street Hoops is getting that push on out here. They pop their Uber off. Shade is trying to kite this one off as much as he can. He doesn't quite have the Uber. 20B did manage to get a couple of frags onto Banny and Blaze here, and they pop their Uber straight on back in towards Street Hoops as the Uber has now faded, and only one player down for 20B at the moment. That's Deadbolt, and they're going to come back out strong here onto this second point. Lansky getting launched into the sky, and he'll eventually fall to the scattergun of Paragon. So Shade has made himself out of here. Duatna delaying for just long enough, but they are on the hunt for Shade right now. But Banny has met up with him and will at least try and delay to keep his medic alive. But Ninja Nick here is going to have a pretty big Uber for him and the rest of the 20B squad to get in towards second.
Yeah, I can just imagine that time when they were all on mid there. Somebody had to have been yelling, stack the point, because Duatna was not here. Now he is. So their ability to go forward was pretty big there, actually, for a little bit. But now you've got a Duatna and your Paragon's dead. So there's actually pushing from Blaze and IT. He's going to go down, though. He actually had kind of a weird noise when he died. It gave me the heebie-jeebies because it sounded like Ninja Nick had died.
It was close. Blaze somehow just keeps getting these lanes to get into mid in these situations, or anywhere really. I mean, that time he just came through IT, I believe it was, and nobody was around for it. Grape gets himself in towards Choke here, and he's going to have to contest with Clockwork inside of Sewer, and he will find the frag onto Grape there. So Froyotech getting ready to push straight on in through Choke here. They're getting ready for it. Lansky has been taken down by Deadbolt, though, and the Uber actually getting forced out once again here. Blaze going down to Paragon as he gets a body shot into Blaze, but now Shade is going to have once again that full Uber. They managed to get in, force Ninja Nick's Uber, and not have to use theirs, so that'll give them some room to push back out here. 20B regardless is going to go in and try and get the second point, but we should be seeing a defense coming in here from Froyotech in just a minute. They have this Uber, 20B is aware of it, and now they pop it off to save this point. They're trying to get themselves out of there. Grape and Deadbolt have both gone down for Street Hoops, and the rest of the squad will get themselves out here before they go down. They're going to try to, at least. Ash has fallen in the post-Uber fight here, so once again, Froyotech going to push straight back out here. They're going to grab this midpoint. Paragon trying to find something with Sniper, but just not going to happen.
Yeah, this is... Ash was traveling around behind, and Lansky was wise to it. They said, I imagine someone said, where'd Ash go? And he said, I don't know. And he turned around, and there he was! So, that's the sort of thing that happens to you. Blaze is bombing in, trying to get lots of damage at Choke. Doesn't happen. But Sizer's going to die to Lansky. Banny gonna go down also in IT, I believe, to Ash. Is that... that's Clockwork way behind. Running around in Panic Room. Grape is searching for him. This is not the fight I would want to take. Grape's confidence in himself must be very high.
Yeah, that's scary, taking on Clockwork in a 1v1 situation like this. Not the guy you want to go up against, but he's at least out of the picture for right now. He took down Sizer, though. He's still back there, Clockwork is. Him and Banny actually managed to get all the way behind earlier. They'd come through IT, but just as I say this, an Uber gets popped out from Froyotech straight in the mid here. The counter pop comes out from Ninja Nick as well, and Clockwork has finally gone down to a pipe from Deadbolt, so they'll at least have him out of the equation. Sizer's still down, though. They're waiting for him to get back up, but 20B seems to have some command of this mid here, and a headshot came ringing across mid onto Duat in his head, and Banny will find a frag onto Ash as well, who is hiding for his life in the corner, but now Deadbolt's going to get aggressed a bit by Banny as well. Froyotech pushing strong back into this mid here. 20B looking like they're going to have to get out of here, and Paragon lurking as well. He has Blaze on him. He managed to get a shot off onto him. He's very hurt, still fighting it out with him, but Clockwork eventually will take down the Australian man. So now Froyotech pushing on into second here. Ninja Nick has a bit of Uber advantage, but right now Froyotech has the player advantage, and Grape is going to rain down rockets onto him, but couldn't manage to find a frag, and Sizer was able to pick up a couple there, actually, onto Lansky and Blaze, now making it time for Froyotech to back up, and it's just been a back-and-forth battle here.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff you're going to get when you start to play against Froyo, when you've done it a lot and you're enough into it to be able to really put up a fight. So we've got equal Ubers here. You've got to be careful. The problem for 20B, all these times that they've gotten into mid, as they force the Uber and actually don't get forced themselves, this is like the best possible scenario for them. The problem is they're not capping. Oh,
wow.
Duat now catches Paragon as he tries to escape, and Sizer too. No. So now they're doomed a second. Nick can't be out here anymore. He's gonna get forced. Yeah, so there it goes. And they don't have scouts to cap mid. So this Uber is going to have a really big ask. Yeah, they cannot do it. There are two scouts behind them in Clockwork and Banny. And Clockwork going to make Ash kill himself.
Yeah, they did exchange inside a lobby. There are only 3 players up for Froyotech right now. Shade and Lansky are the only 2 left alive, as somehow 20B managed to save that second point there, and they're going to come straight back out into mid here. Froyotech's got to back all the way up, and 20B would really love to get around here. I have to imagine that time is of the essence here, certainly for this first half. It's got to be close to ending. Froyotech currently leading 2-0 on this first half, and 20B hasn't really had any opportunity here so far to get into last and even get some sort of a chance at capping, but maybe this is the start of something for them here, but not if Paragon goes down, as he's already fallen in this fight. Ash is quite hurt. He needs to take heals, and Clockwork is lurking inside of IT right now. Once again, they left a lane straight open for Clockwork to get in towards. He's getting a lot of damage out on the Ninja Nick. He's milking it like Farmer Brown. Managed to keep himself alive and not have to use that Uber, but Froyotech, regardless, is going to push straight into this mid here. Ninja Nick still hasn't used that Uber. He has it. He's along with Grape here. Ash has gone down. Ninja Nick's got to be looking to use this here shortly, and he does. He'll pop it off onto Sizer and Paragon, sending them both forward here, but they're going to have to back themselves straight up here, as Ninja Nick trying to get himself out here alive, and Lansky is on the hunt. Deadbolt will come out and try and delay for his medic, but those are the only 2 left alive for 20B right now, and once again, they already have a strong hold here. Oh, Grape flying up, seeing if he could get something onto Shade, but Froyotech now finally going to cap out this mid. They were applying a lot of pressure onto second, but they get this midpoint, now looking to come into second.
Yeah, the consolation prize there is Ninja Nick is still alive. So, pretty nice there that they at least came away with that. They're back where they started. Deadbolt gonna go down, that's not good. The Clockwork will die in exchange. And they're gonna get Banny too. So, no scouts, no time to go. There we go. So we've got Ash and Grape jumping through very quickly. Blaze standing on the high places. And everybody in 4G is getting out. They need to get on this point quickly. We've got Grape pushed up pretty far into sewer. Yeah, there he goes. Lansky's going to get him. So we have even Ubers, but no pocket for 20B.
It seems like 20B still is having a lot of instances where there's some sort of hole that these people just keep getting through, mainly the flank classes, but never mind that, as Froyotech now has popped their Uber straight out of IT here. Ninja Nick will go on the counter pop as well to try and shove Froyotech right back, but they're still down Paragon. Street Hoops is, and there is a whole storm raining down on the Ninja Nick right now, as well as the rest of 20B. It's only Paragon and Grape left alive. Paragon just got his spawn too, and they got trapped in that corner. and hell rain down in the form of Froyotech straight onto their domes there in that corner. They're going to pick up mid as well as the second point here, and maybe a little play could come out of Paragon here who's lurking.
Yeah, this is the story of every team this season that's given Froyotech a game. Is they will do relatively well, they will fight back and forth, and it'll be a really fun and interesting game, but eventually they will make a mistake, and then they will lose the round. So this is what 4G is prepared to do. They haven't had the best of times pushing this last, but it looks like they're going to give it a go. And here we are, the Uber's coming through. There is a fully, well, no, he's an adolescent 7th player. He's gonna die, and now everyone's over on the left. They're trying to get a little time on this. The Uber is now finally going to come out. Grape taking big damage. Everybody collected Blaze drops on their heads. But big kills onto the point. They all tried to walk on at the same time and got blasted.
There it is. Excellent defense here from 20B. Once again coming. Oh, no, the cap. Oh, no, never mind. So I thought they finished out the cap there. I was like, oh, goodness. No, but that is just halftime and almost a round win there for from Froyo right at the end of that one. But 20B has had some really strong last defenses when they've been on the ropes like that, down such advantages, and they managed to hold off a lot of the pushes from Froyo as they've kited the Ubers well, rotated around and in last, but still they're down 2-0 right now. And as you said, it's they go back and forth here, but eventually Street Hoops is going to make a mistake, and Froyotech are the kings at making you pay for your mistakes.
Yeah, that's been the big problem for them. The big key issue here for 20B was there were a couple ill-advised pushes out into second that I guess they felt they had to do, and that resulted in a back cap one time. And then a lot of their mid pushes have failed because they either don't, when they push up. So basically, I guess I should back up. When you're capping mid, you need to have someone move up to stop the other team from getting in. They usually do that. The problem is that they'll have one person do it by themselves, and they get really far into it. So when, say, Clockwork and Banny both run straight into you, it's really difficult to not die. And the rest of the team doesn't really cap fast enough because there's a Blaze or somebody else behind them that's keeping them from all standing on the point and capping. So, and the reason that that's such a big deal for 20B is with mid, the holder of mid has a spawn advantage. So all of a sudden you think you've got mid and you're capping it up. Yeah, we'll just clean up Blaze. And then 5 players come through choke and you lose the round.
Yeah, that's certainly been part of the issues here as we are heading into the second half here. And just a note as we go into this as well, I'm being told Shade had 0 deaths on that first half. 0 deaths. It's just a testament to the game sense that man has, as well as the rest of the Froyotech team. But here comes 20B trying to start off the second half strong here. Ash has gone down already, and 4G working their right side. And now 20B is going to have to back up as Grape has gone down too. Ninja Nick had a good surf on in through choke, but he has the cavalry coming straight after him here. Lots of rockets raining down onto him. He managed to make himself at least in through the shutter there. He got an arrow into Lansky, but couldn't quite finish him off there. Just had a little bit too much health, couldn't make himself out of there alive. So Ash and Clockwork are going to go at it here, and Ash is going to go down, who was up on Sniper, and this looks like it could be a very, very quick round here for Froyotech. It's just Paragon and Deadbolt that have to try and hold this one off. Shade is going to be up on an Uber here in about 5% as well. They need the rest of these spawns to come through. 20B does, but Blaze takes down Deadbolt on a flanking play from up top, and they finally get that second point. They're going to be on last now, and that will be a quick and decisive round for Froyotech to start off this second half.
Yeah, another fun side note. If you're newer to the scene, you may not know this, but actually this is not the first time that Shade has gone without a death in an ESEA LAN match. There was a Badlands like a year and a half ago where he made it through with no deaths.
He's doing excellent here so far, and big soldier plays coming through from Grape as he was able to take down Duat, and they had some fast rollouts there. Grape and Ash both got on through there. So Sizer and Paragon, though, despite getting a big pick on the demo, have both gone down. They're losing players left and right here. It's just Deadbolt and Ninja Nick, and Deadbolt's going to have to give his life here potentially to keep his medic alive, but Ninjanik has made himself out here. Blaze is going to be chasing for Deadbolt here, who does take a rocket, but manages to keep himself up. So Froyotech, once again, winning the mid, though the Ubers are going to be even this time, as Ninjanik got himself out. So we'll see an even fight here, at least, coming on in towards last, but it looks like 20B wants to bring this back out on the second, potentially. They're getting a lot of damage out, and actually Froyotech is down quite a bit on their health. Every player, for the most part, is hurt pretty badly. No Ubers have been popped off yet. Paragon's gone down, and 20B's committed to this second point right now as they've taken down Banny, which is a great pick for them, as the scouts are very strong, but Clockwork and Blaze both going down here, as 20B with a risky play coming back out on the second, but paid dividends for them, as they're now going to be able to push straight into this mid here, with Froyotech still being down 3 players.
Yeah, now we're pushing this mid. And Shade's going to have to pop here. There's actually going to be an Uber exchange at mid here. Now, the problem is, as I said earlier, the spawns are in the favor of 4G until that point is capped. So they're pushing into it here. They're going to get Shade! Finally,
wow.
Grape takes away the perfect game from Shade. And now they're looking really good here. Ninja Nick dies in response, though.
It's another one of these instances. They're getting on through, and they leave these holes that Froyotech can get on through. I've seen Blaze come out of IT. Either Blaze or Clockwork and Banny come out of IT and get some sort of a play. Not necessarily onto Ninja Nick, but just in general, a play onto the team of 20B from something that they're not watching. And I mean, I realize they're pushing on through, and, you know, you're focused on just getting out into that second point, but you still have to realize that whole gap is open behind them at IT, and Blaze once again capitalizing on that and able to take down Ninja Nick. Another med pick added on to his resume here for this game. So right now we're going to see Shade actually with about 30% Uber ad right now. No util classes as far as I can see now, so everybody running a standard 6 setup here, and Shade going to be up on this Uber soon. Now, whether or not he pushes out with it is to be determined. It's only about 30%, which is kind of questionable range, at least, to an extent when you're trying to push out a last, so it looks like we're going to kind of even things out here and wait for this Uber push. Actually, yeah, never mind. Thought they were going to go for something, but not the case.
Yeah, they're just moving up into a more forward position. Actually, Duwatna gonna die to Grape. Grape just said, oh, what do you think you're doing down there, little demo? So I think that's gonna be time to go. And where are we going? Here's the Uber. They're trying to get in on the right. Scout very hurt. Paragon's gonna die a little early. But still, that Duwatna kill, it's so delicious, you can't turn it down. And now they're getting into each other, but there's a heavy on the point, and it's a Lansky Banny heavy. Okay, good. He's dead now, but 20B is getting wiped out.
Oh, yeah, Ninja Nick goes down as well. Ash is going to be flying up in the sky, seeing if he can get a play on the Shade, maybe, but no, he will go down. So I think that may have been the first time. Was that the first time, Marxist, that 20B has even made some sort of a push in towards Froyo's last?
I may be wrong, but I think that is the case, that was their first go-around with it. It started out well enough, but they lost Paragon really early. Like, their timing in getting everybody through that door was just not as good as it could have been, or as they probably would have liked. Deadbolt, though, gonna deal some big damage. Grape gonna finish off Clockwork. Now, we'll see here, they've got Uber on Shade, but they are not capping this quickly, and that gives Paragon a respawn. Now there's a full complement out here at 2. They could have tried to get in there and force Shade while he was standing on the point and while they weren't really set up. But instead, we're going to see, hopefully, some kiting here, and then an Uber back out onto second. Shade's going to get forced quickly by Ash. Grape and Ash both down on the ground. They're scattering, trying to get away from this, and now we have a Ninja Nick Uber ready to go. So hopefully no one else gets lost here if you're a 20B fan. Deadbolt really hurt. Clockwork going for blood, but he's not going to get it. However, Grape is also going to die. Uber forced.
Wow, what an exchange there on second. I mean, that was a huge bomb that came through from 20B. Almost got the drop on the Shade as well. Now they're continuing to push forward here. Paragon goes down to Lansky inside of sewer. Deadbolt gets a pipe into Lansky, but couldn't quite finish him off. But Ashes will do that instead, taking down Lansky. So now it's 20B back out onto the midpoint here. They're going to be able to pick up on this. The Uber's relatively even here. Shade is about 15% or so on him, but not a whole lot to work with here. So they're going to grab this second point, get ready to move on towards second here. I thought I saw a sniper. No, not going to be the case. So 20B getting set up here. Probably going to see a bit of a stalemate here, I would assume, for quite a while. Possibly somebody maybe go in, sack, go sniper, or do something. I don't know.
Yeah, usually you're going to see Ash. However, Clockwork and Blaze and Lansky both, it was a bait play. They baited Grape in there. He said, "Ah, ha, ha, I see a scout kill." And then Lansky came through as the pocket trade out. The Uber actually not as effective out of Shade's bunch as you would hope, but Banny's the only one they lose in the push, so now we've got a repush situation. Now the big thing here is Grape is already back up because they have that mid-respawn advantage. Banny's going to be dead for a double-digit time. They could push through on this pretty easy. It's the same. They could use 4G's tricks against them, but they're apparently not going to.
Yeah, they still, I don't know, they seem a little bit tentative to do anything that's, like, I don't know, just in the aggressive range there, unless they have a clear shot at doing something. But right now they're going to be at about 90% over here. Shade is just about at 90 as well, so even for the most part here, and still no snipers or anything that we've seen so far. Ash is actually heading back. I thought he was heading back. He just went to go pick up some ammo here. But both meds with that 100% Uber. Their sticks all inside a choke here. Sizer trying to clear for them. Blaze is inside of IT once again, lurking around, seeing what kind of havoc he can wreak onto 20B. But just kind of stalemating out right here, and potential IT push coming for them. Possibly Paragon goes down, but Clockwork will get exchanged inside of IT. So the soldiers battling at it. Blaze going down to Ash and Grape, who had some good teamwork inside of IT to finish off that frag. So 2 players going to be down for Froyotech right now as they try and move on through IT to complete this push here. Ninjanik is taking quite a lot of spam here. He needs to be careful, and he's going to have rockets coming across as well. Still hasn't had to pop that Uber off yet. Excellent rocket dodging, and they will pick up this second point without having to use Uber at all. Just getting a couple picks in IT led to this. Both teams still with the full Ubers, but now 20B in a position where they can start to work in towards Froyo's last.
It always brings a smile to my heart when I see the soldiers work together, because that's one of the oldest tricks in the TF2 book for breaking a stalemate is bring both soldiers and have them time out shots. But Grape and Paragon are going to go down. Lansky says hello to the point. Deadbolt trying to defend himself or fight or get out. They're on the ground here. The Uber actually comes out from Shade. So 20B is in a really great position. They have the ability to repush this. It would be ill-advised for them to let this go. They have Uber out here, and there's an easily killable soldier in Blaze. There we go. So they got him. They can get up here as long as they don't lose a whole bunch of people in this. It'll be okay. Their Uber is still with them.
Ooh, Ninjanik is very hurt right now, and he had to use it off that time as he surfed the rocket around, but they want to try and bring this straight into last here out of lobby as they're going to send the soldiers on through. There is a level 1 sentry. Ash will take care of that quite quickly. Grape coming across to try and take care of Duatna, who does go down. Each team with only 3 players, no, 20B only has 2 players up. 1 just getting a spawn that was Deadbolt. Sizer going down as well. What looked like it could have potentially been a decent opportunity for 20B. Once again, amounts to really nothing there as Froyotech going to push right back out onto them.
Yeah, the problem there was Deadbolt, who's been a really big player for them, just wasn't present. And pushing last without a demo is very difficult, so they just didn't get it. It was a gamble, and it didn't pay off, and now they're going to lose mid to probably to 4G. They're getting in here. They need to figure out a way to get rid of Shade. Zuber actually body shot, takes out Clockwork and Banny with the headshot, so much better there. You really can't push 2 down, so that's going to buy them quite a lot of time. And they're going to get in here on the second because the respawn timer is bad when you only have second and your own point. They're going to get Blaze, too. There's only 2 players alive. Come on, guys. Let's go to last.
Yeah, 20B needs to get on moving, man. Well, now the spawn's starting to come through here, though. Dwat and Blaze are still down, but it looks like they've kind of lost that opportunity to get on in, as Ninja Nick didn't really have his Uber yet either, but Banny's going to come on in and try and get something onto Deadbolt here. Got lots of damage, and some of the Froyo players are going to come back as well, but Banny getting taken down. Paragon wreaking havoc with that sniper rifle once again, taking down Banny and Clockwork as he just did a moment ago. And the guy is on fire right now, very noted for his sniper play and making it felt here on this half so far. So let's see if 20B can get it going this time. They're starting to work themselves in on the right side. They need to get around here to try and even this out here. Blaze is going to come bomb, and he was forced on that Uber, Ninja Nick was, and they're going to send him right on across here to force Shade as well. And his Uber, Paragon, still going off, taking down Clockwork once again. He's killing more scouts than he is any other class, but Ninja Nick goes down at the tail end of that fight. Ash and Paragon as well. Another failed push here coming out from 20B, it seems, as Sizer will fall at the end of that fight as well, leaving only Grape and Deadbolt left alive to try and keep themselves alive here, and I would expect Grape to fall here very shortly, and that is the case. So Froyotech managing to hold on to last, once again picking up this second point, and they're going to come in with some ad into mid.
Yeah, they're putting themselves in the meat grinder, because Grape still has a double-digit respawn timer. Now we're down to 8, but they're going to be in here at mid. We've got Ash and Sizer mainly trying to do stuff. Clockwork going to get domed out of the sky! So at least that's flashy there. Duwanda goes down, and Lansky too, so a spirited defense here. Shade is going to kill Deadbolt, though, and the big bomb from Blaze.
Oh my goodness!
Out 20V.
That is just unreal, man. I mean, Paragon's got Clockwork's number written down on the back of his hand right now. And, I mean, Blaze coming straight back through with a huge bomb, and Ninja Nick had a great surf too, but just couldn't quite keep himself alive, but they just destroyed them out on that second point towards that choke there, and Banny and company here going to start moving in. Clockwork is in IT here to try and help things out, but now going to go back, get the heals. Shade has 100% Uber here, so they should be able to take this second point with relative ease here. They'd like to not even have to use this Uber, but Blaze has gone down. Sizer was able to get in and pick up a frag there, so now Shade trying to move on forward. He's going to pop off that Uber just to be safe because his teammate, or there was a sniper threat as well, and my game has crashed, Marxist.
Alright, so solo cast for a little bit, I guess. So we got a fight over here on second. Deadbolt Grape gonna go down. Shade gonna die again for what I think is only the second time this game. Big fight though for 4G. They're still winning it. They're gonna go into last here. Ninja Nick and Paragon, all that are left. You gotta be a little careful here because the scouts are testy, but he is being healed. So we'll see what the respawns are doing here. They're trying to get out of the door, and there are people on the point. Blaze gonna go down, so that should stabilize them for now. And yeah, that is going to be the case. We do have Uber for 20B. They're going to start working. Grape is going to get debt in the sticky trap that's generally always there, but that's the price you pay for playing Pocket. And Ash is going to get on the point now. They are backing out. All of 4G is out through choke, so they are safe. Going to drive this Uber into him with two scouts, the old-fashioned chariot. Ash wants to jump over the top. He might get Shade again. Beautiful rockets onto Shade. That was really well done. So many roamers want to shoot the medic in the feet. Ash purposely missed his first rocket so that Shade would go straight up in the air about 3 feet off the ground and make for barbecue chicken.
Gotta love some barbecue chicken every now and then, especially on, well, Saturday when you're playing the ESEA LAN playoffs. But anyway, we're back into it. I'm back into it. Into the game here is Ninja Nick is going to have about 50% Uber here to move on forward, though. Lansky getting an opportunity right inside there and takes down Ninja Nick, and a perfect frag for him to be able to equalize that advantage that they had, and he just managed to have it timed perfectly with that shutter door as he came flying in and got the rocket off on the Ninja Nick, and that's 3 players down for 20B right now. They get a couple of spawns back in, but they don't really have much firepower at all, Marxist, here to hold this second point.
Yeah, unfortunately, the barbecue closed shortly after it got to Shade. Oh, Nick is way up in the sky. He might crater it. Yeah, he's going to get picked out by a spam rocket from Lansky. Now it's pretty much every man for himself on 20B. They got to try and figure out how to get to Shade. He is being thrown around. There we go. Ash is going to get it. So, yeah, you're 2 players down, but they've got players to clean up. Deadbolt is at last, so, I mean, there's at least that, but his team is not going to spawn for a bit. So Deadbolt's got to, it's him versus everyone for just a little bit here. He's got a scout and a medic to help him. 4G doesn't want to mess with him. That's, you know, a little tip of the hat from them to Deadbolt. What a nice game he's having. That 4 players didn't want to mess with him.
Yeah, that's some respect right there. Respect for the man. So we do have Ninja Nick up on 45% Uber in the attempted sentry gun from Sizer goes down to some pistol shots from Clockwork. So now it's going to be Sizer trying to reset up this sentry here. As he does have some time because Shade is only at 50% on his Uber. So you certainly will have some time here to get a gun up. And we did have Paragon, who was on Sniper for a little bit as well, but elected to go ahead and take himself off of that, maybe because 20B wants to make a push out here with this Uber. They're getting ready to go, and they're coming straight out of rollout. They need this push to work, though, as now they're going to get in towards Choke, but weren't able to do anything and lose Ash and Grape in the process. Blaze does go down, but now Shade's going to work right back in here with a full Uber, and Deadbolt's going to get caught out in lobby, and things not looking good for 20B here. They're down 3 players. They have second point, Froyotech does, and they have a full Uber as well, which gets popped off here and used to take down Paragon, and all they have to do anything with this here is a sentry gun that isn't going to be able to stop those guys from capping that point, and an attempted push there from 20B that they desperately needed to work if they were going to do it. Didn't, and now we're looking at a 4-0 game here for Froyotech.
Yeah, as I always say, Ubering out to try and get second just generally never ends well unless you get 2 immediate kills or catch their medic by surprise, and neither of those things happen, but here we go to mid.
So right away we have the soldiers almost giving them a little high five to each other in the air, but Lansky and Banny have already started this mid off by getting some crucial picks as Paragon goes down as well. Ash, all of the players for 20B down except for Ninja Nick right now, who well, that could be a saving grace there for 20B at least to keep themselves alive in this map that Ninja Nick was able to keep himself up, and they'll at least have 50% Uber add here to push out of second with if they want to, but it's another one of those, you know, situations where do you push out and risk it?
Yeah, here you've got to try and negotiate kills to kills. So they got Clockwork. You need to look for your next frag. You don't need to use your Uber to get it necessarily. There we go. So they've given you 2 kills now. Just get on the point. They can't mess with you anymore. That's all that needs to happen for 20B. And it looks like that's going to be the case. Now you have Uber advantage to go to mid. They're going to try and flank around into IT. They have been sighted. Deadbolt's going to die to Clockwork Sniper, though. The IT's push is actually good for that to get around.
Oh, Ninja Nick almost got dropped by an arrow from Shady. Ate one right as he was coming out of IT and got down to 14 health. And that would have been such a sick play from Shady if he could have landed that frag. But still, close call, but no skin off their backs there for 20B as they're ready to go. Clockwork is up on Sniper, though, we know he can certainly do some damage with that as well. And Grape's going to get blasted around here like a ragdoll all over towards this choke area, but so far no frags coming through. Shade just about to be up on his Uber. Ninja Nick never had to use his to take mid, but nonetheless we're still going to see an Uber v Uber situation here in just a minute as the 20B players are lined up inside of Sewer for the time being. Sizer, Grape, Ninja Nick, Paragon all inside of there, but they're going to rotate back out here and look for another lane, and right now luckily they came right at this time because they had IT completely open once again, and Ninja Nick gets dropped to Blaze inside of IT. That is a huge play from them, and now Froyotech's going to be able to push straight back out onto the second point, though. There is a battle going on at second right now as Street Hoops is in there, and they're actually winning the better of this fight right now. It's just Shade and Banny who had to pop off that Uber to keep themselves alive to try and defend the second point possibly, but nonetheless, 20B is going to be able to pick up on this here, though. Deadbolt has gone down. Banny's going to pick up on a couple of pistol frags there for Froyotech, but now we're kind of evening out as 20B is going to get their spawns back in here, but Banny wants to try and grab the second point as well as the rest of Froyotech. 20B knows they don't have the firepower here, and they're going to have to back themselves up to mid.
Yep, there was a neat little rap play there. I was kind of confused as to what was going on because Blaze was just standing there with Shade. He's going to go down, speaking of him. But he was just standing there in IT with Blaze, and the whole rest of his team was standing out on point like he normally would. And so they saw Blaze, they know his hat by now, and it turned out he had 300 health and a medic right behind him, and it caused bad things to happen to poor old Ninja Nick.
20B is working their way straight back in here. They had a couple of picks, and they managed to take the second point back for free here pretty much after getting those 2 picks. So once again, 20B is going to be trying to work back into last here, and they are down 4 rounds to 0 right now. And Blaze finding another lane once again coming out of Shutter, but Grape this time will shut him down. He did manage to get a decent rocket into Ninja Nick there, but to no avail, really not getting the frag at least. But the Force has come out inside of lobby right now, and they did drop Grape on that, and they're going to have to get themselves out here. 20B is going to have some quick feet as Banny and Paragon were battling it out, but he will go down. Ninja Nick is going to fall to Clockwork as well. Clockwork is picking up 3 frags there, taking down Deadbolt as well, and Ash will respond with at least a sniper frag on a Clockwork, but great pushback out there from Froyo.
Yeah. I got a chuckle there, though, with Ash killing Clockwork. I think Clockwork has died to snipers more in this last little series against 20B than probably any single player in the history of ESEA LAN before. It's just like every time they decide to run one, just through whatever stroke of bad luck for Clockwork, they find him. So that's good. I'm getting some laughs out of that. But we do have Uber advantage for 4G. They're going to go ahead and go through anyways. Big Soldier Bombs, Deadbolt going to go down, Paragon down. Both of the brothers are out of this. And it's not going to result in a second hold, that's for sure. The Uber is about to come in from 4G, though. Only 3, maybe 4 players will be there to stand against it.
They're getting ready to come right on in here. They're deciding to bring it in all the way around on this right side. Lots of time down onto the point. Sticks are finally remaking their way back out there. But Duatna doing work with the stickies right now. Clockwork as well will clean up on some damage. And that is going to be the map there. Froyotech taking it in a 5-0 fashion there. Though the game was 5-0 Marxist, it wasn't exactly as much of a blowout maybe as it seems by the score.
Yeah, it's 20B is a few mistakes away from turning to making 4G panic. And that's so this is the sort of thing that I would say psychologically. I don't know a lot of the guys on 4G that well, but they have not been seriously challenged in some time. And if you came here at LAN and you started to beat them, it might throw them on tilt a little bit. And maybe then they wouldn't be the grindstone that they're being for 20B right now. Because 20B is playing a standard game, and they're doing a pretty good job of it, but eventually they'll have some kind of a breakdown, and then it's over for them for that round.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they get in there, they have their moments of brilliance, 20B does, and they just can't seem to continue to follow on through with it and get rounds. But let's take a look at the logs here, the stats from this last map here. As you see, Clockwork was doing some sort of work there. As you could see, he picked up 47 frags throughout that, 274 DPM as well coming out from him. And then taking a look at Paragon, who also did a lot of good stuff for Street Hoops there in that game as well, managed to pick up 41 frags. So certainly doing good things for them. And as the big Lansky there, you can see 40 frags, 329 DPM. Blaze was also doing some work as well. I mean, what do you make of these stats here, Marxist?
Well, I mean, it shows some of the breakdowns that would and like how bad it is for 20B when it happens. Because teams make mistakes, sure, and bad things happen to you, but somehow 4G, part of the reason they're so good is that when you have these little defensive breakdowns or little breakdowns as you push, your medic immediately dies. And Blaze has 11 med picks. That has to be incredibly frustrating for Ninja Nick, because every single time they have one of these little breakdowns, Ninja Nick is dead. There's no, I was trying to run away and I stayed too long, my fault. He's just dead. He's standing there playing normal, his team is alive, and all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, a Blaze comes through IT and you're dead.
Yeah, it seems like I mean I kind of harped on it during the game a lot, but they just seem to leave open a lot of gaps sometimes. 20B does, and it allows Blaze to get in there. And if you take a look at the medic deaths there, Shade only died 5 times during that game. 5 times. He went through the whole first half without dying once, and finally they put some pressure onto him in the second and started getting some frags onto him. But I mean, you're not going to win games if your medic is dying 21 times versus their 5 that their medic has. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's tremendous work from not only Froyotech to create that pocket around Shade, but you also just have Shade who has this this tremendous game sense and this cohesion with his team that he can keep himself alive so many times. So excellent work from Shade and company there, and regardless, that is going to be a first map win there for Froyotech.
Yeah, Shade has an uncanny ability to read the situations in front of him. Even if he doesn't say anything about it to his team, he can just tell how, which way the wind's blowing, and maybe he'll just quietly leave.
Yeah,
And he's been doing that for years, Gecks.
Yeah, hey, you would know better than me. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. The guy certainly has some tremendous game sense there, along with the rest of his team. So certainly aiding in their success there on the first map, his ability to keep himself alive. So we'll see what happens going into our next map, which is going to be Gully Wash, I believe. CP Gully Wash will be our next map here. So before we get into that, we're going to go ahead, take a quick break, guys. Go ahead, grab your drinks, do what you need to do. We're going to play some ads here for a second, and we'll be right back into it here for our second map of this upper bracket matchup between Street Hoops and Froyotech. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.